Hello, this is King of Review, and we're going to be applying the quadratic formula to solve this quadratic equation. But before that, let's make this equation a little bit nicer so that we can apply the quadratic formula. So, we don't want this negative 8, and we're going to be able to add 8 to both sides to cancel that out. So that should say negative 6 plus 8, which is 2. And therefore now we know what our a, b, and c values are. Our a value is negative 2, our b value is 1, and our c value is 2. Now we're ready to plug it into the quadratic formula. The quadratic formula says negative b plus or minus square root b squared minus 4ac over 2a. Now let's plug in our values. B, which is 1, so negative 1, plus or minus square root of 1 squared, which is 1, minus 4 times a, which is negative 2, times c, which is 2, over 2 times a, which is negative 2. So that equals negative 1 plus or minus square root of 1 negative 4 times negative 2, which is 8, times 2, which is 16, so plus 16, over negative 2 times 2, which is negative 4. So this is going to be negative 1 plus or minus square root of 17 over negative 4. We can actually simplify this a little bit. We can take away our negatives. So we can make this positive and that positive, and this positive is going to turn into a negative, that negative is going to turn into a positive, and that's why it's going to stay positive negative, and it's going to say 1 plus minus square root of 17 over 4. So the answer is going to be C. Now let's look at our other options. Option A says square root of 10. But if we do b squared minus 4ac, we're going to be doing 1 squared minus 4 times negative 2 times 2. And that 4 times 2 times 2 comes out to 16 plus 1. That's why this is wrong. What about option B? It also says square root of 10, so you immediately know it's wrong. What about option D? It says 1 plus or minus square root of 17, but with a negative 4. Now, this is going to be different from what this says, because if you simplify that, and if you multiply out a negative, this is going to equal negative 1 plus or minus, and multiplying a negative, so that's not going to change anything, plus or minus square root of 17 over 4. So now, this is negative. So one of the numbers have to be negative, but our actual answer is not going to have a negative number, and that's why this is wrong. Therefore, the answer to this question is C.